What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the Warframe video. So, the dust has settled from Tennocon 2024. We've gotten all the information that we're getting so far on these upcoming updates. And I thought I'd go over one of the big things that was clearly missing from Tennocon 2024, and I think the devs would agree too, because there was a new interview with Rebecca and Megan going over raids in Warframe and how they're kind of absent. Like, they've been gone for about 7 years right now, and we'll be showing you exactly how long it's been with the post of when they removed them in the first place, and basically talking about how easy the raids were, how close we have to like things that are that difficulty level and coordination level in Warframe right now, and basically how hopefully DE buckles down and gives us raids hopefully next year. I'm just kind of done hoping at this point. It's been 7 years. Let's get right into what we're going over today. Before we do, though, make sure you're subbed to this channel. We do daily Warframe video uploads. I haven't been able to stream the last couple days, guys. I've been in a lot of pain, so I'm just going to be taking it kind of easy. So I'll have a video out here in the, every day, but I have not been streaming the last couple days, even though I really want to. I want to do a level 10,000 AX52 run, and I still will, but yeah, probably not today, or maybe tomorrow. I hope I'm better by tomorrow, but yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, so first, raids in Warframe. What's going on with that? Well, if you are maybe not even a new player, if you've been playing for less than 7 years, you might not know that Warframe used to have raids. We actually didn't even call them raids, they were called trials back in the day, and they were missions that basically required, I think at bare minimum, 4 players, and at maximum you could have 8 players in there. And they were not too bad. We had 2 of them. That was called the Law of Retribution, was the Grenier raid. They had Vahek as the final boss. And the mechanics for that one were basically a stand on the button. Like there was lots of buttons standing in that raid. Like if you had 2 people on the button, the door would open. If someone got off the button, the door would close. Basically every mechanic in that raid was stand on a button. So that was why it was really bad, and it was not very fun. And the other raid was the JV, which is the Jordas Verdict. That was an infested raid. And I don't really remember the mechanics of that one as much. I want to say there was like anti-serum injectors. If you've ever done the infested salvage mission, that was like an actual raid mechanic in there, guys. So if you've done infested salvage, you've basically done one of the raid encounters. I think it was like a little more difficult than that, but yeah, for the most part, stuff like that, like bouncing around a spore, it was different mechanics. Definitely better than just standing on a button, but also like it was kind of viewed as a little bit glitchy by a lot of players. So yeah, we had those 2 raids. Just to prove that I actually did them, I'm going to show you the raid cosmetics they added to the game for players that did the raids before they remove them, and we're going to go over how they remove them here in a second. But yeah, if you did do these raids back in the day, you got these special cosmetics. Let me try to remember exactly what this is. I think it's a sigil, maybe? Yeah, an emblem. Okay, so it's an emblem. So we have the Asaron Sakara. Now, you guys have to tell me in the comments down below, which raid was this from? I know it was from a raid, I just don't know which raid it was from. We got the, okay, this one's definitely, the Jordas Sakara. Okay, you know, I think I actually might know. So this is the infested raid cosmetic right here, this little floating thing. This is the Nightmare Grenier raid, I want to say. This flashy one is for, because there was a hard mode version of the raid too. They gave this to you if you beat the Nightmare version of the raid before they removed it. So I think this must be the normal version of the Grenier raid, Nightmare version of the Grenier raid, and there was no Nightmare version of the infested raid. So yeah, if you see someone that has these equipped, that means they did the raids back in the day before they got removed. Now let's talk about how they got removed now, and it's, I don't want to, like, you know, speculate or anything like that here, but it does really feel like it's like, wow, you said there was a temporary removal, and this was 7 years ago, so what do you classify as temporary, DE, if 7 years is temporary according to you? So going over what we have right now with the original forum post, now yes, this is a very old forum post, it is dated February 7th of 2018, so yes, over 6 years ago, about 6.5 years ago. Might as well just call it 7 at this point. So, this post is called the Temporary Future of Warframe Trials. Remember that word temporary right there. And, yeah. Let's just go ahead and, I'm not going to read every line of this. Let's try to read the important parts right here. So, first of all, they've had the game for 5 years. So, this is a very old post. This is when the game was 5 years old. So, what they're saying here is on February 28th, they removed all the raids from the game and temporarily put the rest. That will happen on PC. So this is before we had updates all at the same time. They did it on PC first, then did it on console later. Yeah, so like they added the first raid in 2015, May 18th, 2015, and the second raid was in October 29th of 2015. So we got 2 raids added to the game in 1 year, guys. And we haven't gotten a new one in 7 years since they removed it. So on the dev stream, they mentioned that we're looking to repurpose existing raid content to make the game mode more accessible for low-level players, also prepping them for this end-game content as they continue to progress. I'm going to go ahead and let you know right now. As far as these raids are concerned, yeah, they couldn't bring back the raids we had in 2018 because we are power crept beyond belief. The only thing that would be a problem in those raids would be the button, because you can't be in two places at once. Actually, I take it back. Now that we have operator, you could take care of a double button solo. So yeah, they would have to totally change it. But yeah, look at the words they put there. They said it was going to be too hard, and they want to make it easier for low-level players. And then you look at the newer content they've added that's like higher level. Look at this newer high-level content we have. As far as being accessible for new level players, it's like a complete 180 on this Elite Deep Archimedean. And I would say this is actually harder than the raids we had back in the day. Now, ignore the random loads part. That part is definitely not the best. But to get access, is you have rank 5 with the Kavia Syndicate. And after you do that, what do you get? You get to have a selection of pseudo-random gear. Like if you didn't have Wisp or Revenant this week, or you have Baruch, I have good frames this week, you could be forced to play Limbo, forced to play Yareli, etc., etc. So I don't know. I know it's technically different devs in 2024 than in 2018. But yeah, we've done a complete 180 on that kind of mindset. They want high-level content to be accessible to low-level players. Like, look at this stuff right here. Now, technically, you don't need to run all these modifiers, but like at that point, why are you even bothering with the EDA if you're not running all the modifiers? You get not that much extra loot if you're not running a bunch of the extra modifiers. So yeah, the newer high-level content they're adding is extremely inaccessible for newer players. And yeah, back in the day, they were saying, like, here's our excuse for removing the raids. We're going to make it more accessible for new players. I don't think that, honestly, if they are still working on that, it remains to be seen. So let's go ahead and look at this interview right here with Rebecca and Megan. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to go over the entire interview. I'm just going to Control F the word raid. So we're just going to get to the part where they talk about raids right here. If you want to check out this whole interview, I will link it in the description. There is quite a few things they talk about here, like, you know, things involving like blind justice. Like they've got little things like that. So if you want to read the whole interview, go for it, guys. But I want to go over and highlight this right here with. Are there any plans to bring back raids or some form of larger group content? And with Megan's response, oh, trials, what a time we have. I think on your whiteboard, there may have been an idea for trials for quite some time, but it's all about balancing what we want to do. Obviously, the story, WARFRAME 1999, was huge, so it has a place, it has a time. We just gotta see when it fits back in. But we do have ideas for it, and we want to bring it back. We want it to feel like the Warframe represents now and not go back to what it was. So yeah, it's a big project. And then Rebecca says, the thing we miss most of them is having coordinate with your team. That's our white whale right now. It's a coordinated team-based mission. So, I mean, I could be very cynical about reading this response right here. They're saying that the 1999 story is a higher priority. But then I look at what's in the 1999 update, I'm thinking to myself, so you're saying a dating sim in Warframe is more important than adding raids back? That seems like a weird decision because not like anyone was really asking for a dating sim in Warframe. How much have we been asking for raids? You literally put a post out in 2018 saying, and the final words on this are pretty damning right here. In conclusion, we are incredibly grateful for years of love and commitment towards trials. Just note, this is not the end. This is not the end in 2018. It's 2024 right now. And it seems like the most low priority back burner issue. We're getting a dating sim in Warframe before a raid is added back. EDA is not really exactly the best endgame if you ask me. The fact that you're, pseudo required to run this random loadouts, it diminishes the fun factor of it. If I was doing a raid with JV or LOR, I could bring anything I wanted. Now, technically, in the Nightmare version of it, there was a limit of, like, I think two of the same frame per team, so you couldn't have more than 2 Trinities, or more than 2 Rhinos, for example. So, like, that was a limitation, but really, it wasn't that big of a deal. I'd play, like, Mirage or somebody else instead of Trinity. So, it feels like DE might putting this as a lower priority than even I was originally expecting. They're saying, oh, the 1999 story was more important. I feel like if you were to remove the dating sim from 1999 and put a raid in there instead, it would have been, I mean, to be honest, like, let me know, guys, in the comments down below. Are you excited for the dating sim in 1999? It just feels like the devs are just dropping in things they feel like, not the things that the players want at this point. I would have loved a raid in there. We've been waiting. They literally said it's not the end in 2018, and here we are, where it clearly was the end because it's not even like gonna be happening. They said there's a time for it. Yeah, when is the time for it? Because it feels like it's just gonna be going on forever at this point. So I think that maybe DE should reprioritize raids in 2025, and I think that a lot of players would agree with me. But I'm sure some of you guys will in the comments down below saying, you know, your defeatist attitude where, like, clearly like, they can't make a co-op mission. We're too OP. You know, I've always said, guys, I don't like nerfs in Warframe, but if there was endgame content that would be, you know, we would get endgame content out of nerfs, I think that's when nerfs are appropriate. If we're getting some missions that are actually like team play coordinated, hey, if a Dante is giving everyone 40,000 overguard instantly and slash proc killing everything, maybe the raid's not going to be very hard. So maybe in those cases, that's where raids or where nerfs would be more acceptable. Or like, you don't want to nerf them just in the mission, but like, you know, Revenant, Mesmer, Skin, Augment. Do you think we could ever get a challenging raid with that mod in the game? I don't think so. You just turn everybody into a mini Revenant. You could just keep doing it over and over and over again. If the encounter is a small room with affinity range, Mesmer Skin Augment hits everyone in affinity range. So everyone's got 5 Mesmer Skin stacks, which means they're not going to die. So we've got so many strong things in the game nowadays. That's probably why they're so hesitant about, you know, adding a mission, because it would be, you know, it would be a lot of effort and work. Again, like EDA can be totally soloed. EDA is difficult because of the modifiers, not exactly because of the mission. And, you know, the raid would definitely not have modifiers on, I'd assume. It would have, like, you know, just high-level enemies, mechanics, puzzles, boss fights, that kind of stuff. So it would be a big deal. And I think EDA is actually them testing out how they, like, you know, what would work. You know, is the boss fight on the final tier being super tanky a good thing? Is the survival with the Limitus too annoying for people that don't realize that the Limitus are there? Like, is a mech and a Limitus at the same time too annoying for most players? They're probably testing out things like that. So I think there is a little bit of hope here, but also I don't want to be, you know, blindly hopeful here where it's like, well, you know, it's only been 7 years. Maybe the 8th year is the charm, right? You know, like, I feel like that definitely should be prioritizing this. I find it crazy a dating sims being added to Warframe before we get raids back. Like, that's actually crazy to me. So yeah, that's what they're going to be their plans going forward. There is no actual news from DE besides they would love to add them, but they just don't really know how to, is what it sounds like. And adding a dating sim is a higher priority than adding a raid back, or a new raid for that matter. So I hope you guys found this video fun and helpful. As far as raids in Warframe, the best you got right now is EDA, maybe a Eidolon fight, maybe a Prophet Taker. That's pretty much it. And yeah, this interview did have a lot more in it, but I'm not going to be going over it extensively. I'll just link that down below if you guys want to check it out. All right, appreciate all the support, guys. I will be live on stream, hopefully tomorrow. I really hope it's back tomorrow, but I am in so much pain that I don't really think I can stream right now. I'm just glad I get this video up for you guys. So see you guys very soon. There will be a video tomorrow regardless. We'll be covering probably some more Tennocon stuff or some builds. So I'll see you guys next time. Stay easy. Bye.